Thank you everybody for joining us for tonight's presentation. We're very happy and excited to have Charlie Lewis here to give us some information on Answers for Families. Before she starts, I have just a couple of slides to share. Get those pulled up. Can everybody see my screen okay? The slides? Okay. So tonight's presentation is part of Munroe-Meyer's Family Care Enhancement Project information series. We host different webinars on topics that are pertinent to individuals with disabilities and their families. Our project consists of the Family Care Enhancement Project. We call it the FCEP or the FCEP. It consists of family caregivers or parent resource coordinators. And I'm a parent resource coordinator, and we ourselves are parents of children with disabilities or special needs. And we've received specialized training to help other parents navigate the systems. We also help clinics meet the social determinants of health, or those non-medical needs that do impact health outcomes. We are statewide. We everywhere from Kearney, Lincoln, Norfolk, Omaha, and Scottsbluff. We have at least one parent resource coordinator. So just as this webinar is statewide, we can connect you with a parent resource coordinator in your area if you would like. Just a couple housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded, and it will be edited, which does take a little bit. I do apologize on the wait, but it will be edited and then uploaded to Munroe-Meyer's YouTube page. And here is the link for that. And all of our past presentations that have been recorded are already on there. So this could be a good resource for anybody who would like it to visit that website and watch any of the past presentations if you might have missed it. And we ask that you submit your questions that you might have for Charlie or me we'll use the chat function tonight. And then also, if you wouldn't mind, at the end of the session, I will put up a survey. It'll automatically populate on your screen, and it's anonymous, but if you could please, it's only like 4 questions, so we would appreciate any feedback that you might have, just to make sure that we're covering all the topics you want, and the topics that we are covering, that we are covering them adequately. And again, like I said, we are super happy to have Charlie Lewis from Answers for Families to let us know a little bit more about the resources she has. This is my email address, so if you have any questions following the presentation on either the presentation or anything else, if you'd like to learn more about the FCEP, or you'd like to get in contact with a parent resource coordinator, you can reach out to me via that email. And that's also the email that the information for tonight has come from in your email. So with that, I will stop my share and hand it over to Charlie. And I think you're on mute, Charlie.
I thought I was really ready. I was really prepared.
Well, it wouldn't be a webinar, a Zoom, if we didn't say that at least once, right?
Right. So those of you who have webinar bingo going, you cross that one off. I'm Charlie Lewis, and I'm Answers for Families. It's a project of the Center on Children, Family, and the Law, which is a center with the university under the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm the project director, and Answers for Families really We call ourselves Answers for Families, but we have several projects that we have in partnership with like the Nebraska Respite, community health workers, Health and Human Services, the Department of Education, Early Development Network. So we partner with a lot of individual agencies to help families in those that they serve. So Answers for Families has been around for quite some time. It's really catchy. We're finding answers together. Here's the address, which is answersforfamilies.org. That's easy to remember. Hang on, give me this. My dog, every time I get on the phone or on a webinar, my dog comes and brings his squeaky toy, so I apologize. But our mission is to provide information, opportunities for dialogue, educational resources, and support to Nebraskans with special needs and their families across the lifespan. But we also help those professionals that work with those families. It started in 1994, and this is but we had 40 of these Elixir 2s that were given out to families. Sue's shaking her head. Elixir 2s that were given out to about 40 families so that they could talk with other families that had children or youth that had disabilities. And, you know, this is the old dial-up and DOS configuration, and we still have one of these left. And so I always like to bring us back to 1994, and now today we serve the lifespan. So over the years, it's taken a different look. From 1996, as you can see, it's pretty blank, going up to 2014, and then now 2023. And this is our look right now. It also comes in a mobile app. And as you can see, we have different categories that we kind of focus on based on the needs of Nebraskans and those that we are funded by. So you can find answers with an A to Z list. And you can quickly, find what you're looking for. We also have, you can talk to others, which we will talk a little bit here in a minute. And then find services is the Nebraska resource and referral system. And we'll get into that later on. The talk to others, we have several different listservs or discussion groups available that range from children with mental health, parents that have children or youth with disabilities. We also have sibling groups. We also have school nurses and a few others. We have Ask an Expert, which we have experts that have been identified and can answer questions in their area of expertise. And then we have Ask RX. The experts right now, you might know some of these. Carrie Miller is for children with disabilities and early childhood. Denise Packard, basic needs. We have Dr. Pratt out of North Platte for dentistry, and Andrea Riley, school nurses. And then we have two for abuse neglect that are both in child welfare field. Find Services, like I said, was the Nebraska Resource and Referral System. And that is a database of resources, programs that are helpful for families across Nebraska. And then we have these categories, you might say, that we have special questions that you can, well, you'll see in a minute here. We did add COVID-19 for those that have disabilities, kind of geared towards that. And how we've set this up is that this is the parenting category, and we have popular questions that we've gotten over the years, and we feel that are important and that people would be asking. Sorry about that. And so family or friend or neighbor is providing my childcare, do they need to be licensed? So then you would click on the plus and then get the answer and resources that would help answer more about that topic. So we've kind of taken the questions and kind of put them on here, and we keep adding them as we go along. And this is just an example. What are my rights as a person with disabilities? So we have some information and who they can call, and so on. And we also have some videos that PTI had been doing Zoom trainings over the years, and we have a library of those on topics similar to probably what you guys are doing. And then on the same page, we also have related topics. So if you remember, we were on the parenting page, and then we have related topics that are set up like that. Like we have parenting classes, education, and you can read that, child care, child custody. So there's more questions that can be asked under these related topics. The Ask Expert is then highlighted on the page. So this would be the parenting page. And then we list the discussion groups that are similar, that would be of some interest for parents or those that have children with disabilities. So we have youth talk and child mental health and so on. There's also the search that you can, do a keyword search and find topics that way as well. The NRS, Nebraska Resource and Referral System. This is our new look. We have these highlighted categories, but then we have more categories that are available, and you just have to click the little link there to expand all of the different categories that we have. We label it the NRRS simply because it's too long to write out all the time. So the address is the nrrs.ne.gov. And we also have a keyword search and a location that you can also search as well. And like I said, these are just the topic areas that are used quite frequently. And then you have the navigation bar at the top here, and you have the My NRRS. So this becomes important because when you search for a resource, I'm searching right now for respite services, and the list comes up. We want to be able to add those to our favorites. And so by clicking on add to my favorites, I can add that, but I need an account to be able to do that. So, and accounts are free, but it's, you have more power if you have an account, let me put it that way. You can search by zip code, city, or by county. As you know, especially in the Omaha area, the zip code, you have several different zip codes, and so it kind of narrows the search. So we would always recommend either by city or even by county if they kind of live out on the edge. And you can reset the search, and then you can update it. Like, oh, I'm not getting anything in Lincoln, I'm going to expand it to, well, I should say I'm not getting anything in in Hastings, so I'm going to expand it to Adams County, get my counties right. All right, and so I click on the name, and then there's more information, a little map to kind of find, and then kind of a description of services, what the eligibility is, if they've have costs, and their hours. And that's by expanding, just clicking on the title there. And you'll see these little icons. This little guy just means that it's an accessible resource. And the little tree is that they are respite network screened resource. So and you can hover over that. I didn't show that here, but you can hover over that and it'll indicate what that icon means. So here's the resource, which we talked about. Here's what I was saying is that you can click on add to my favorites, and these are lists that I've already created in the past, or I can create a new list. So if I create a new list, then I can name it, and then I can add this resource to that list. So it's really nice to be able to keep a list, because what you can do with that list is you can print it out, you can email that list, or you can just keep that list forever. And what's nice about it is if a resource comes off the system, it'll come off your list and it will notify you that this has been removed off of your list. We also have compare this resource. And so all you need to do is I have, like a few here. So you click that, I click that and click that. And then I click down here and I want to compare those resources, and the titles of them are up above. And then you can scroll down and kind of see, okay, well, here's the cost, here's the description, and you see each field and compare them to see, yeah, I think I want to use this resource. We also have assessments, and we've had these assessments and they've been working really well for those individuals that don't really know what they're looking for. And so we have the disability self-assessment, family self-assessment, youth 60 plus, and then we have the respite self-assessment. And what this does, it will take you through a set of questions, and these are the sections that you will answer questions to. Now, you don't have to answer all the questions. If you just want to say, okay, I want to look at, what resources can meet my medical needs, then you can click on that. You can start the assessment, answer those questions, and then it'll spit back, the system will spit back those resources that will hopefully meet that need. You can save your assessment, you can print it, or you can start all over. So, but you do need an account to save your assessment, but you can print it out without an account. Again, here's where you'll find the contact. We do have an 800 number that families or individuals can call, just a list of all the resources. And then again, you can search just by any of these, either down here or by this search up here. It is also a mobile app, and you can do the same things. We have these as our highlighted categories, but you can browse all of the categories here. You can look at your list that you've created under favorites, and you can still add to that list through the mobile app. It works just the same as the website does. And it's located, on the regulars, the Google Play and the Apple Store. And here's a little bit better look at it. And then you can also search by those same keywords or by zip code. Navigation, you can always, buttons are located at the bottom. And you can share a list. If you create a list, you can also share that through email or other social media. This is what it looks like on the app. It looks a little different, but it still works the same. You've got your zip code, your city and county. To make it one of your favorites, you can just put a heart on it and it will add it to your list. And to get more information about this childcare, it's the little I for information, additional information. Like I said, you can heart them. You can heart your resources about any place. And here's our 800 number. And one final thing that I wanted to let individuals know is that we do have Answers for Families classroom that we, some of these are open for the public. The newest ones that you might have heard about is building a culture of continuous quality improvement. And that has a component of charting the life course in it. And so some of these are protected because they are only for that agency's services coordinators, but like the home visiting, toxic stress, working with challenging behaviors, those are open. We have a partnership with public health at DHHS to offer abusive head trauma and safe sleep and abusive head trauma yearly review. Those are for, well, like I said, anybody can go in there and take those courses, but but they're for like hospitals to become safe sleep ambassadors, I guess you might say. We also have let me look here. Oh, we also provide respite, the respite provider orientation. And if anybody wants to be a provider, there's a way to get signed up, and then you could take the course as well. That's it in a nutshell. There's a lot of slides, but a lot of it is, let me stop share here. A lot of it is just, self-explanatory, going to the website and being able to just kind of go through. What questions do you have? Oh, I might add, we also work with Help Me Grow, and that is a program for, children all the way up to age 8. And one of the things that had been identified is children's mental health practitioners. And so we've really have been working hard to gather those that provide services for children, young children especially, in the mental health field, and add those and update everything on the NRRS. The NRRS gets most of their resources from the licensing at DHHS, but they don't always come over and are automatically available, simply because some of the licenses does not reflect their place of business. The resources are lifespan. The assessments you'll see, those would then focus on only that age group. Like the disabilities, I think, is lifespan, but then there's families that have children with disabilities. That would be through 18, I believe. So
I had a question that came in. What is your top searched topic on the NRRS?
I just recently looked at that. Yes, well, today wasn't yesterday, it was today, and it was childcare and well, the second one was children with disabilities, and then the third one was housing. Let's see, the app. You just wanted to take a look at it. This is what it looks like. And like I said, you can browse all the categories, or you can, these are just basically shortcuts. The child care resources, we go a little bit further than just the licensing, and we ask specific questions to child care providers about the type of care they would provide a child with special needs or disabilities, and what does that kind of look like. So we have topic areas around, like, anything from severe allergies all the way up to trach suctioning. So we try to get, and as you may know, there's not a whole lot of childcare providers that will provide that more intensive care, but we do try to get what we can. Waivers, A&D waivers and the DD waiver on the app. That's a good question. We have that would be good. We did add, let me just bring it up really quick. Let me just share my screen. All right, hang on. Of course, some updates are coming in now. All right, so we did add a category around, well, here's my full list here. I gotta do my alphabet. I think I put it under, we put it under education. And as you see, I have top level, but then I have subcategories under that main category. So why that's not coming up? Let me go back here and do a search. Oops. I don't even know how to run the site. It's because you guys are watching. We have some under developmental disabilities and resources there, but I don't know if we do have, that would be something that we'll add. That's good. I know about them, if that matters. So you can call me.
And
All
what was
right.
the name of that app again? If we went to like the App Store, what was the name of the app?
You'll find it if you type in Answers for Families. You'll find it. You'll find it under that. Let's see. I can see if I can get this link. I'll put a link here. There's the Google, and here is the on the Apple. So I put the links in there. And if you go to NRRS, if you scroll down on the page, there's a section there that you can have a direct link at all. but there's over, probably 50,000 records in the NRS. So we try to gear it towards those that will help families that have an individual with a special need or a disability, but anybody can actually use it because, we all can use the same resources, or at least that's what we believe. Any other questions? Yeah, it is lifespan. It used to be just we started with the 40 families that had children, but now it's over the lifespan.
So how do you
Uh,
procure your resources? Where do you get the names of the childcare or the names of the agencies that are resources for you that are listed there?
yeah, if they are licensed, then we get that from Health and Human Services on a nightly basis. And like I said, not all of them are valid because some of them are home addresses and not agency. So we have to do a little more digging to get to see where they are employed. And they can opt out of the system as well. You can, if you find a resource that's not in there, you can add it, and then it goes through a verification to make sure that it's a valid resource before it's made public. And then if you have, say you're a child care provider, you can update your own resource, and that also goes through a validation process before it's updated. But what's nice about it, if you work with families or like I said, you can make as many lists as you want with those that you find yourself looking for, and that'll keep forever. You can have as many lists as you want.
Jennifer, is it okay if I take off mute and just ask a question without typing? Is that okay? Can you hear me?
Please go ahead. Yes.
Okay,
Sorry, I
thanks.
was muted.
No, that's okay. I was trying to send typing. First of all, hi, Charlie. I just had to say something in person. It's been forever since I saw you. So
I know, I wanted to say something too, but I thought,
great
well,
to see you. It's great to see you. And hey, the reason for my questions is that while I'm not a services coordinator anymore, all of those families I worked with way back when, I still stay in touch with, and I still get calls, almost every day with, families with older kiddos. And so that's why I was just kind of asking. This is wonderful. I love that there's so many resources, but I was just wanting to make sure. I'm going to look through it. I did download it, so I do have the app now. But if this is, I know you said the lifespan, and I'm thinking respite, but that's why I asked A&D and DD waivers.
mhm.
Those can, well, A&D is for lifespan, and DD, but I stay in touch with so many families that have older kiddos. I want to share this. I just want to make sure that this would be something beneficial for them with the older kiddos.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah.
Awesome.
Those are both good. And what's kind of nice, if you go to the Nebraska transition site, and we have a contract to help them with their website, but you can go to agencies, and it pulls up the NRRS resources for them.
Awesome.
So I think the A&D waiver would be good to be listed in here. So
yeah, I think that would be great too. Even just some general information and contact information of who to call.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
You bet. Any other questions? Well, you can't get out early. What should we talk about?
Should I turn the recording off? Is that? If anybody, we'll just go ahead and start to wrap this up. But if anybody has any questions, or if you want to come off a mute and say whatever you need to say, otherwise, I am going to put up the survey here. And again, if you guys wouldn't mind filling it out, we would appreciate it. And again, thank you so much, Charlie, for presenting and providing all this information to us. It was great information and we appreciate it. Did you see that question came in, Charlie, from Sue?
Yeah. Here's my direct phone line. And the 800 number, let me bring that up. Oops. Dog hit me there. And there's the 800 number.
All right, again, thank you, Charlie, and thank you everybody for joining us. We hope this was helpful information, that you'll use it. If I can find my survey now.
While she's looking for that, if you find that you are always trying to find a resource and you can't find it, let us know and we can try and not only find it, but then add it to the resource bank. So like I said, some family groups said about the children's mental health. And so we really work hard to beef that section up.
Okay, and I have to admit, this is my first time doing a survey rather than a poll, because I was going to try and be very fancy and leave open-ended questions so we could get more topic ideas, but it's not showing up. So I'm not sure if you will get it in an email, a follow-up email, or if it doesn't automatically come to you, I may just email it separately so we can get that feedback. We would very much appreciate it. So thank you. And if there's no other questions, have a good evening.